Good evening and a very warm welcome to Front Page only on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. And tonight, the AI world pivots. A new model resets the race, a billion-dollar alliance rewrites entertainment, a satellite network tests India's limits, and a state deploys AI where it matters the most, on the ground. Here are the headlines. OpenAI has launched GPT-5.2, a new three-tier model lineup: Instant, Thinking, Pro, aimed at professional work, long-running agents, and complex tool-driven workflows. Now rolling out to ChatGPT paid plans and available via the API, while also entering public preview in GitHub Copilot and Azure AI Foundry, as OpenAI positions it as its most reliable model yet for reasoning, coding, long test, understanding, and of course, vision. In a bid to revive declining cultural relevance and stagnant streaming growth on one side, and to rescue Sora from falling adoption and rising Chinese AI video dominance on the other, Disney has signed a 3-year, $1 billion equity and licensing deal with OpenAI, allowing Sora and ChatGPT images to legally generate content with 200 plus Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars characters, while Disney adopts OpenAI's APIs internally and formally enters the AI licensed IP era. Elon Musk's latest post, looking forward to serving India with Starlink, comes after top Starlink executives met Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, secured key SATCOM approvals, and signed an LOI with Maharashtra while exploring distribution via Jio and Airtel. Even as the hard physics of satellite networks, India's ultra-cheap mobile data and dense urban coverage raise a bigger question, which is, will Starlink actually work at scale in India or remain a niche, rural and disaster connectivity lifeline? And finally, at the Microsoft AI tour in Mumbai, Maharashtra today became the first Indian state to deploy an AI-powered cybercrime operating system, as Microsoft, Marvell, and CyberEye launched Cybercrime OS AI, an Azure OpenAI-based investigation platform already live in 23 Nagpur police stations and proposed for rollout to all 1,100 stations to help officers tackle India's 3.6 million plus annual cybercrime incidents faster, more intelligently, and with greater transparency. Good evening. Well, after a code red week, OpenAI has finally shipped GPT 5.2. OpenAI has officially launched GPT 5.2 days after escalating an internal code red to fix deteriorating ChatGPT user experience and amid an intensifying race with Google's Gemini 3. And of course, remember this, in our previous front page coverage from the Microsoft AI tour in Bengaluru, Satya Nadella had already hinted that a major OpenAI model release was imminent. Many, including us at Front Page, expected an India-specific model, especially with back-to-back Microsoft AI tour stops in Delhi, Bengaluru, and Mumbai. Instead, what we have today is something broader. GPT 5.2, OpenAI's most capable professional model yet. Ideally, this should have landed before the India tour, so developers in Delhi and Bengaluru could have actually experienced it live. But at today's Microsoft AI tour in Mumbai, the confirmation finally came. GPT 5.2 is now in public preview across GitHub, Copilot, and Azure AI Foundry. Satya Nadella himself shared the exciting news on LinkedIn. GPT 5.2 is now becoming native across Microsoft's daily use tools, from M365 Copilot to GitHub Copilot, Copilot Studio, and Azure AI Foundry, with Copilot automatically choosing the right model for the job. So clearly, this is a production scale rollout. GPT 5.2 is positioned by OpenAI as its most capable model series for professional knowledge work, long-running agents, and complex workflows. Three variants, three clear roles. First one, GPT 5.2 Instant. Fast, efficient, everyday professional tasks. GPT 5.2 Thinking. Deep reasoning, coding, long documents, planning. GPT 5.2 Pro. Highest accuracy for complex, high-stakes domains. And GPT 5.1 will remain available to paid ChatGPT users for 3 months before being sunset. The headline breaks through with first OpenAI model to match or exceed expert humans. GPT 5.2 Thinking beats or ties industry professionals on 70.9% of tasks across 44 occupations on the GDP-Val benchmark. 30% reduction in response level errors compared to GPT 5.1 Thinking. Near perfect long context reasoning maintains coherence up to 256,000 tokens with near 100% accuracy on MRCR long context tests. Major gains in software engineering. New state-of-the-art scores on SWE Bench Pro, GPQA Diamond, Frontier Math, and ARCAGI 2. The agentic workflows actually work now. GPT 5.2 and can coordinate tools across long multi-step workflows, customer support chains, data analysis, rebooking, compensation, and enterprise operations with far fewer breakdowns. We're actually coding spreadsheets and front end finally converge. GPT 5.2 Thinking is now strong enough to do this: debug and refactor large production code bases, build investment banking grade financial models, generate polished spreadsheets and presentations, handle complex front-end and 3D UI work from a single prompt. As for the feedback from early testers, they say this is the biggest agentic coding leap since GPT-5, collapsing fragile multi-agent systems into a single, reliable mega agent. The vision and real-world interfaces error rates are nearly halved on chart reasoning, dashboard analysis, GUI and software interface understanding. So basically, this directly then improves workflows in finance, operations, engineering, design, and customer support areas where visual data is, well, mission critical. On the pricing and availability front, $1.75 per million input tokens, $14 per million output tokens, 90% discount on cached inputs, despite higher per token pricing. So OpenAI says GPT 5.2's efficiency often makes it cheaper overall than GPT 5.1 for the same quality of output. GPT 5.2 is rolling out now across ChatGPT, which is Plus, Pro, Business, Enterprise. GitHub Copilot, Pro, Pro Plus, Business, Enterprise. Azure AI Foundry. So basically, Microsoft Copilot ecosystem is now that we have given you the entire overview. Here is actually the reality. OpenAI today is running at a $5 to $6 billion revenue pace. Most of it driven not by consumers, but by enterprise API and ChatGPT for business. And that's exactly why the newest model release feels less like, well, a fanfare moment and more like a calculated, well thought out upgrade. So after Google's Gemini 3 stole the spotlight, OpenAI is now racing to push its models into real enterprise workflows because that's where the money is. Even OpenAI co-founder and president Greg Brockman has said repeatedly, the next phase of growth will come from enterprise adoption, not consumer hype. The whisperers, who of course are coming in from a closed-door New York City lunch suggests this. Sam Altman has already chosen his battlefield, which is enterprise AI. Multiple news leaders says he told them this will be OpenAI's defining priority in 2026. This launch also lands as OpenAI completes 10 years. So, a very, very big congratulations to OpenAI and the entire team from Front Page and the entire team. We, of course, want to thank you for keeping us all at Front Page and AIM very gainfully engaged with all the amazing updates, drama, and technology breakthroughs. We, of course, have said this time and again here on Front Page, that OpenAI is no ordinary company. A decade that took it from 15 researchers with an improbable mission to models that now outperform humans in structured professional work. The latest GPT 5.2 reflects a very clear shift from chat to execution, from assistants to agents, from demos to economic output. OpenAI is now selling time, reliability, and end-to-end work completion. With Microsoft embedding GPT 5.2 deeply into enterprise workflows, emails, meetings, documents, code bases, this model is no longer optional infrastructure. It's actually becoming default enterprise intelligence. And guess what? GPT 5.2 is not the finish line. It's actually a stability release that fixes trust, reliability, and agentic execution at scale. The real question now is not whether GPT 5.2 is powerful. The question is, will this level of agentic intelligence finally translate cleanly across India's enterprises, developers, and public sector systems? Or will adoption lag behind capability once again? That answers won't come from benchmarks. It'll actually come from how India actually builds on it. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Think AI? Well, think OpenAI. Think AIM. So, well, if you grew up with Tarzan, Rapunzel, Simba, Ariel, Elsa, Mufasa, Woody, wow, the glory days. Sorry, I got distracted. You probably remember an era with which Disney's characters defined childhood. They weren't just stories, they were actually rites of passage. That was nice, but well, here's the uncomfortable truth. For Gen Z and Gen Alpha, those characters aren't sticking anymore, not relevant anymore, maybe. Attention spans are shrinking, formats are changing, and Disney's classic IP isn't holding emotional real estate the way it once did. And interestingly, Disney is aware of this, and so is Hollywood. And due to that very awareness, we believe Disney today is attempting something radical to bring its most iconic characters back to life. Not through animation, not through remakes, but through AI. But of course, on the other side of the world, OpenAI has its own crisis. Sora is dying, or rather, not soaring anymore. You remember when Sora launched, it felt like the future. Hyper-realistic video, impossible camera moves, viral demos everywhere. But unfortunately, the hype came crashing down, or should we say, soaring down. Because almost instantly, Chinese models like Kling started crushing Sora on fidelity, speed, and consistency. Nano Banana became the new benchmark for AI native creativity. And Sora went from, well, the future of filmmaking to, well, cool, but kind of irrelevant, which meant that the usage plummeted and resultantly, the wow factor disappeared. So to make sure our point is clearer, let's give you some numbers. Sora's early hype never converted into mass adoption. OpenAI had to cap free Sora generations at just 6 videos a day due to compute strain, while Google's Nano Banana surged past 10 million new users and powered over 200 million image edits within weeks of launch, showing how image AI exploded even as video AI struggled to scale. And of course, legally, Sora was trapped. Every great output looked like copyrighted content that OpenAI couldn't license. Now, of course, we know that both Disney and Sora were slipping out of cultural relevance. But then came the plot twist, as it always does. Today, Disney has signed a $1 billion licensing agreement plus equity investment with OpenAI. Yes, the largest AI entertainment crossover yet. This deal will let Sora and ChatGPT images generate short form videos and images featuring 200 plus Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars characters. No actor likenesses, no voices, just pure IP, but legally, officially, globally accessible. And content starts rolling out in early 2026. Disney Plus will even stream curated Sora fan-made videos. This is the moment Disney tries to re-inject its characters into Gen Alpha's daily digital life, not through movies, but through user-generated AI storytelling. And of course, this is the moment OpenAI tries to give Sora a lifeline, a clean, premium, gigantic catalog of IP that, trust me, no competitor has. But of course, here's a very crucial point which we have to make. This move can save both Disney and Sora or sync them together. And this is why. So if fans embrace AI native storytelling, this becomes the single biggest rebirth of Disney IP since the Renaissance era. If they reject it, both Disney and Sora risk becoming vintage brands held together by nostalgia, not relevance, unfortunately. And you know what? We had predicted this and did so a while back. This deal should have happened much, much earlier, to be honest. But as they say, it is better late than never. So when Sora started mimicking Disney-style scenes before it died down, before Kling overtook it, you remember that? We at AIM had mentioned Disney won't fight AI forever. It will license AI eventually. And today, it has happened. So, well, to put it across very humbly, we at Front Page pride ourselves in keeping all of you watching and regularly subscribing ahead of the curve. So, well, needless to say, like, share, subscribe. Now, of course, the question to answer is why Disney has done this. We believe that Disney is doing this because it's losing cultural ground. Streaming growth is flattening. Gen Alpha consumes TikToks, shorts, reels, not 2-hour animated sagas. Given, well, these challenges, this deal helps, first talk about Disney. Makes its IP interactive, not passive. Insert its characters into daily digital creation habits. Build a feedback loop from AI to Disney Plus to merchandise to, voila, fandom. Yes, Disney is manufacturing relevance in an era where storytelling isn't watched, it's co-created. And now, of course, let me draw your attention to what it does for Sora. So without this deal, Sora was on track to become the MySpace of AI video. Legendary launch, no staying power. Now, of course, the semantics of the deal, here they are. Disney gives Sora a licensed IP mode no other video model has, a reason to exist beyond novelty, a content pipeline competitors cannot replicate, giving Sora a second chance and probably its last. So on the same day as this OpenAI partnership, Disney sent Google a cease and desist accusing it of massive scale copyright infringement, which means Disney picked a side in the AI race. Disney will sue some platforms and partner with one. And that one is OpenAI. So clearly, it looks like a geopolitical alignment inside Hollywood. And talking about Hollywood, it is also not sitting still. Netflix just went all in with one of the biggest media deals in history, acquiring Warner Brothers in an $82 billion mega transaction. So if you're wondering, why does this matter for AI? That is because Warner Brothers holds one of the largest film and television archives on earth. Batman, Harry Potter, DC Universe, Looney Tunes, Cartoon Network, HBO classics. the works. So, well, the industry analysts say Netflix isn't just buying a studio, it's actually buying the training data of the future. And owning this content outright means Netflix can legally train future AI native storytelling systems on decades of cinematic structure, character behavior, animation styles, and narrative arcs. Something no streaming competitor can match. Well, even though Netflix hasn't said this publicly, Hollywood trade analysts are very, very clear. This deal positions Netflix to build an AI powered storytelling platform where owned IP becomes the raw material for next generation interactive shows, personalized storylines, and AI generated worlds, which of course sets the stage for a new Hollywood battleground, which is this. Content ownership leads to AI training, leads to AI first entertainment. With this $1 billion decision, we have a template. Studios now have two choices: litigate AI or license AI plus litigate competitors. Disney chose the latter. And of course, every other studio will now have to respond. The next generation won't just watch stories, they'll actually generate stories with characters Disney created, trains OpenAI owns, and platforms Gen Alpha lives on. So, needless to say, this is about the future of identity, fandom, and creativity. The front page take, if you're ready for it, shall we go on? Brilliant. So, yes, this is the $1 billion deal that might save Disney and Sora, or it might kill them both. But either way, the future of storytelling just changed forever. Please, of course, let us know what you think in the comments below. And of course, needless to say, like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI am. Why Elon Musk's Starlink will not work in India? Wondering. India is excited. Elon Musk says he's looking forward to serving India with Starlink. Starlink leadership just met Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia in Delhi. Approvals are moving. Maharashtra has already signed an LOI. Jio and Airtel are even onboarded as distribution partners. But here's the truth. No one is saying out loudly, which is Starlink will not work in India, at least not the way many people think. Not in cities, nor for the masses, not as a replacement for fiber or mobile towers. And of course, Musk himself has explained why. In a very recent podcast with Nikhil Kamath, Musk said very plainly, the physics don't allow for that. We can't beat a tower that's 1 kilometer away, end quote. Starlink satellites orbit at about 550 kilometers, minimum 350 kilometers. A telecom tower is 1 kilometer away. That difference alone makes city-scale high-density connectivity physically impossible. Musk even quantified it. Starlink can serve barely 1 to 2% of users in a dense city, at best. Why? A satellite beam is like a large flashlight, fixed capacity, spread over a huge footprint. A crowded city overwhelms it instantly. High-rise buildings block signals. Latency battles physics. Towers and fiber dominate every metric in urban India. So no, Starlink will not replace Jio, Airtel or fiber broadband in Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune or Chennai. Starlink shines where India's infrastructure struggles, which is deep rural regions, forest belts, mountain villages, disaster-hit zones, areas where fiber rollout is uneconomical. This is where Starlink truly adds value. But of course, there is a catch, and here it is. 8,600 rupees per month plus 34,000 is the hardware. Then there is, of course, the premium backhaul costs, installation and power requirements. For rural India, for government institutions, for panchayats, for small schools, well, it works only if the government subsidizes it. That's why public sentiment is split. Excitement mixed with, well, disbelief. Also, recent reports show that 8,600 rupees per month plus 34,000 rupees setup was shown due to a glitch. But Starlink clarified pricing hasn't been announced as yet. So good, okay, fair. That puts it to rest right now. Let's wait and, of course, find out how all of this unfolds. Starlink, meanwhile, has recently partnered with Jio and Airtel. But these are retail/distribution tie-ups, not network integration. Starlink is using their, well, retail presence, field force installation ecosystem, customer support networks, because reaching rural India alone is nearly impossible. These partnerships are simply distribution pipelines to help Starlink sell and support satellite kits in remote regions. India has, and here are the figures, 1.2 billion telecom subscribers, 934 million broadband users, cheapest data prices in the world. Congratulations. 95% plus village 4G coverage, massive fiber expansion, a BSNL/Jio/Airtel plan for just rupees 300 per month can keep a rural family online for a decade at the cost of a single Starlink hardware kit. Wow, it's an insane comparison. Anyway, no satellite service can actually win on price in India's mass market. Clearly, not even Musk's, not mass internet, not city broadband, not mainstream consumer internet. Instead, backup communications during disasters, border regions with zero connectivity, critical infrastructure, defense, remote railways, mining, maritime, rural schools, and healthcare, where fiber is unviable. The government connectivity pilots like Maharashtra's LOI, which is basically Starlink, is a niche, high impact, rural first connectivity layer, not a national broadband replacement. Like mentioned earlier in the latest People by WTF podcast, well, Musk outright said Starlink tends to serve the least served. City towers are far more efficient. It is not physically possible for us to serve dense populations, end quote. So Starlink coming to India is exciting, yes, but Starlink replacing Indian telecom? Well, that's pure fantasy. Please do let us know what you think in the comments below. This is, of course, Front Page by AIM Network. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, think AI, think AIM. Of course, for right now, we'll take a short little break. But when we are back with some great, exciting news which is happening on the ground. So be back.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter.
Welcome back to Front Page. In Mumbai, today something unprecedented has taken place. Maharashtra has officially become India's first state to deploy an AI-powered operating system for cybercrime investigations, and Microsoft unveiled it live at the AI tour. It's called Cybercrime OS AI, and if it scales the way the Maharashtra government plans to, this could be India's biggest leap in law enforcement since the crime and criminal tracking network 15 years ago. But before we go deeper, as always, please like, share and subscribe. This is Front Page by AIM Network. And if you're all set, let's get into it. On stage in Mumbai, Satya Nadella himself announced the launch of Maharashtra OS AI, built by CyberAI Marvel, Maharashtra's Innovation SPV Microsoft India Development Center, which is the IDC, powered by Azure OpenAI plus Microsoft Foundry. The system is already live across 23 police stations in Nagpur, and Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has now proposed a statewide rollout to all 1,100 police stations. This is the beginning of a full AI transformation of India's policing systems. India reported 3.6 million plus cybercrime incidents in 2024, according to the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. Financial fraud, impersonation scams, digital harassment, AI-generated threats, deepfake extortion. Criminal behavior is actually scaling with AI. And for the first time, law enforcement now has AI on its side too. Built on Azure OpenAI and Foundry, the platform gives officers AI co-pilots for real-time investigation, which is instant case creation, multilingual transcription plus data extraction, automated linking of cross-state cases, digital evidence analysis, contextual recommendations from Indian Penal Code's OSINT-based threat intelligence. And, in Satya Nadella's words, the ability for officers to use this agentic system to speed up the time to justice is fantastic to see, end quote. Satya shared a moment that changed the tone of the entire Mumbai keynote. He spoke about the meeting the Nagpur police investigators, who used to, of course, Maharashtra OS AI, to deliver justice faster to a citizen who was a victim of financial cybercrime. The system reduced the time to action, identified patterns across cases, and guided the investigation in real time. This is where AI stops being technology and becomes governance. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis put it very bluntly. Ethical and responsible AI for public good is our core motto. Our collaboration with Microsoft began with solving complex cybercrime challenges, but its potential is far greater, end quote. He, of course, connected the dots. AI for healthcare, AI for agriculture, AI for public services, AI for governance. Marvel, the state's innovation arm, is already working on AI co-pilots to transform multiple citizen-facing systems. Cybercrime is only the first frontier. Maharashtra OS AI integrates this: Azure OpenAI service, Microsoft Foundry Cloud plus confidential compute, AI-based workflow standardization, localized deployments for sovereignty compliance. IDC engineers co-built the platform ground up inside police stations with real officers studying real cases, ensuring real-world usability. Very important. This is, of course, India designed, India built, India deployed AI. Congratulations on that. Well, in the same keynote, Satya explained why this matters globally. If AI is properly used in governments, we can make the lives of people easier, end quote. He then, of course, tied this into Microsoft's broader India roadmap. New South Central India, hyperscale, AI region, 100% renewable energy, sovereign cloud plus confidential computing, local co-pilot data processing, AI safety plus cyber reliance frameworks. This is where it all connects. Maharashtra OS AI is part of the AI public infrastructure India is very quietly building. Harsh Podar, the Superintendent of Police, Nagpur Rural, and CEO of Marvel, said this: "This is redefining how we fight cybercrime, turning complexity into clarity and speed," end quote. Then came Mr. Ram Ganesh, CEO of CyberEye. "We are empowering officers even in remote parts of the state to solve complex cases with ease and confidence," end quote. Clearly, this is AI diffusing into the last mile, exactly what Microsoft's India strategy is anchored on. If Maharashtra succeeds at 1,100 police stations, three things will follow. Other states will replicate it. UP, Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, all facing rising cybercrime issues. A national cybercrime operating system becomes possible, just like CCTNS 2.0, but AI native. India becomes an exporter of law enforcement technology, just as UPI became a global reference point. So honestly, it is quite remarkable to see when technology becomes state capacity. And now, as always, as its ritual, the front page take. Mahacrime OS AI is India's first real example of AI as governance, AI as public infrastructure, AI as digital safety. And if it works at scale, it could redefine how a billion Indians experience justice, trust, and security in the digital world. The big question now is, will the rest of India follow Maharashtra's lead, or will cybercrime outpace governance before AI diffuses nationwide? We'll, of course, as always, be tracking it very closely. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and of course, always remember, think AI, think AIM.